Hi, we're here at Music MESSE 2014 here in Frankfurt, Germany. And what we're showing this year is we've got, the theme of the show is active integration. And that has to do with our new AI mixers. It also has to do with our new PA speakers, the StudioLive speakers. And what active integration is that you've now got a common sort of thread of communication between the mixer, universal control software up here, Capture 2.0, Studio One 2.6, and the new PA speakers. And in the case of how it relates from the mixer to the software is that with active integration, when we make a change on either the mixer or the software, or for that matter the iPad app, it's going to update all of the other components that are connected to it. This makes it very more efficient when you're, say, recording and capture and you're setting up your inputs. So you may, say here in universal control, set up your kick, snare, hi-hat, and layout, and just start naming and tabbing your way through the tracks. As you do that, they're all updated on the mixer, and when you launch capture, all of your track names are already there in the session. The benefit of this, of course, is when you're finished recording your live performance in capture, your pan positions, your fader positions, all of your track names, and all of your fat channel settings are remembered in the scene in capture.
Oh, does that mean you can almost do like virtual sound check and play it back through the
Absolutely, can do virtual sound check, which is great because if you're a sound man, you know, no disrespect to the band, but we don't really want them there for 3 or 4 hours while we're trying to get the room dialed in. We want them there for about 5 minutes. And with virtual sound check, we can have all of our tracks are coming back on the same inputs that the band is coming through. Kick, snare again, and so forth. So we can get the room pretty dialed in and then just bring the band in when the levels are pretty close, have them run through a song, and it goes pretty cool. The other thing that happens is later on when you take that capture session and you want to open it up in Studio One to say do some overdubs or some further editing, in the past, in the original generation, the first Capture 1.0 and in the old mixers, you would have to rename all your tracks, you would have to reset all your pan and volume settings if you even remembered what they were, or you kind of just had to start from scratch. And you didn't really know which fat channel you did or didn't use and how much of it you used. With the new AI mixers and Studio One, there's now a fat channel plugin that matches the fat channel in the AI.
So it's all just like metadata that's written with the project, is that?
Yes, it's like an XML file, and it's very small. In the original mixers, you know, depending on which mixer you got, you had a different parametric EQ because of how much real estate there was, how many knobs and faders and such. So you might have a 4-band or a 3-band or a semi or fully parametric. The fat channel on all 3 of the AI mixers is the same. So you get the full fat channel, and that is the same plugin that shows up in Studio One. That way, when you open up a Studio One session, it's pretty much recalled exactly where you left off from the live recording of it, and now you can substitute your better, you know, if you want to put in individual compressors and EQs or third-party plugins, but at least you know what you were doing that night to get a certain sound.
And does it work the other way around though? So could you like maybe tweak the mix in your DAW and then feed it back to the mixer?
Not so much, not yet. I mean, there are things, you can send scenes from back to the mixer, so actually there's a way to do it. I haven't really messed around with that so much, as it's more coming live because you're like sort of going in this direction towards a finished mix. Then the other way that incorporates, speaking of the PA speakers, is now, the other thing is everything can be on a wired or wireless network. So you've got now a slot here for a wireless USB dongle, which would then allow you to connect your PA or your mixer and your speakers to a wireless router without necessarily needing a computer.
So why do you need to connect the speakers up?
Well, with universal control, you've got the smart setup, which allows you to basically blast pink noise and use an RTA mic to tune the room. So if there's a bump at 200 hertz or it's a roll off at 4K, when you use the smart tool, it then allows you to cancel that out using the parametric EQ that's on your master fader. However, now you get a room full of people and the sound of the room may change a little bit than how it was when you tuned it to an empty room. The new room control app, which is also going to be free, will allow you to then individually make further adjustments to the actual speakers themselves. Level control, mute, speaker delay, and each speaker will now have a 4-band parametric EQ that you can adjust after the fact and do those last little fine adjustments.
So the speakers have got DSP on board as well?
Absolutely, yes. The speakers have the same computer chip that is in the AI mixers.
Right. So you can get the whole thing tuned up and recalled if you're revisiting a venue. Just once you
Yes,
dial it in.
and the room control app is still about 2 or 3, maybe a month, 2 or 3 weeks to a month away, but it will be free. It'll be off on the App Store, just like QMix, just like StudioLive Remote.
Right, okay. Awesome. So what's next? What else can you control with AI?
Right now, that's what
The
we
drummer.
can. Yeah, well, nobody can control the drummer, but that's just drummers. I would say the next thing we're looking at coming down the line is later this year will be version 3 of Studio One, and we're excited about some of the things that we've gotten. I can't really talk about that, although I will be going to Hamburg after this show to meet with the guys and to kind of dig in a little bit on what we've got so far and what we want to put into it. But that's a release for probably later summer, later in the year.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you.